Rise and Shine Rwanda, it's Monday the 5th of January.
Coming up on today's Rise and Shine Rwanda. New year, new you. It's finally 2015 and we explore Rwanda's resolutions.
Hits and misses, an analysis of all things sports over the holidays.
And we show you how to go from holiday feast to New Year fit. Motivation Monday to the rescue. Good morning, it's just after 7 o'clock in the morning and you are watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Makeda Mahario.
And me, Regis Isheja. Over the next hour, we'll bring you all the latest news, sports, and lifestyle headlines from here in Rwanda and around the world. And the Rise and Shine team are here in the studio. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
I don't even want to know what you guys did. I want to know maybe off camera. We'll talk about it in a minute. It's Monday morning. We're back in the studio. And we'd like to wish our audience a very happy new year. Now let's check in with the rest of the team. What's going on in the world of the money, to be honest?
Well, we're talking insurance, we're talking, new plans for the East African community. I have it all for you in the news today.
All right. Nice. Oh, world of sports. Arnold, what do you have for us?
Team Rwanda, are they going to now take over the continent? 2014, they took over Rwanda. Fast word Rwanda winners. 12 Egypt is around the corner.
Okay, lifestyle. Alan.
Well, it's 2015 and it's Motivation Monday, so I've got all the things you need to know so that you can be fit all year long.
He knows how to motivate us.
It sounds like everyone is ready for the new year. All of that and more is still to come, but first, Rise and Shine, story of the day. The beginning of the year is always an exciting time, and we are thrilled here at Rise and Shine Rwanda to be sharing it with you. We promise to do our best to deliver exciting news stories and endless new topics to explore from right here in the land of 1,000 hills. And of course, we cannot stop there. You know our 2015 resolution. What is yours?
Cyambere muri mwaka intego ya mbere nuko bahimana kugira ngo umuntu abashe gukomeza gutera imbere. Ya kabiri nakoze plan yuko ngomba kuzakora nka miliyoni 14 mu rwego rw'umumotari ndetse n'ubucuruzi.
Asani
murakoze nanjye intego yanjye no kwiteza imbere nkoresheje amaboko na moto ariko nk'amashabu ya intego y'uyu mwaka 2015 nzayinjire mu byibuze nanjye ntwara imodoka kandi yanjye bwite ku giti cyanjye.
Wenda turasaba Imana kugira ngo uyu mwaka utazambera nk'umwaka wa 2014 hariho ubukene budasanzwe rwose ahantu hose.
Ubundi njyewe ndi engineer A2 nize construction nubwo ndimo hano rero mfite plan nyinshi, mfite objective, nshaka kwiga kaminuza, nkiga ibintu byinshi cyane ni ibintu nk'ibyo ndi guteganya kuba nakora. Rero sigitangaza kuba wakumva ngo umwaka uri imbere ngo sinyiri muri Kimironko, ndi muri University kaze, ndimo ndakora neza, mfite performance zikaze, sinzi nibyo neganya.
Okay, umwaka wa 15 ndabona ntacyo twaye wambere biza kuri jewe nibwo nabonye mbona akazi mu gihe nari maze kubushomera kuri je ni byiza cyane.
uyu mwaka wambere mwiza cyane, ikintu nshaka kugeraho ndashaka kurangiza amashuri yanjye no kubona amafaranga.
Uyu mwaka wa 2015 tutezemo gukora cyane, kuba hard working kugira ngo hari ibyo twari dukoze 2014 ako turifuza gutera iyindi ntambwe. So nifuriza buri munyarwanda wese kugira ngo uyu mwaka ubu w'intego, niba wari wubatse vuga uti ngomba gukora ikindi nk'iki ngiki. So uyu mwaka ngewe mutezemo byinshi, mfite imigambi myinshi yo kukoramo nkushize ukurangiye, ndizera ko n'uyu nguyu uri bwe mwiza nk'ushize.
What do you want to do in this year in 2015?
I want to be the first.
To be? The first in class. Oh, wait. ushaka kugera iki muri uyu mwaka? Urakoze cyane.
They're so adorable.
They're so cute. So you guys, you've heard from the people. What are some of your resolutions?
Well, for me, I decided that I'm going to start every day and set like new goals for myself. So as opposed to just setting a goal that I hope to determine in 1 year, I'll cut it down into like small pieces. This way I can work on it every day. So every day I have a set of goals that I want to achieve, and every day I should look back and assess and see if I've actually worked towards the whole goal at the end.
Like a little to-do list,
yes.
I guess. Okay, Alan, what about you?
I want to stay fit, I want to be healthy, and I want to be the best that I can be.
That's a good one. Okay, Arnold?
Win at everything I put my effort in.
You already do that.
Yeah, I want to win, and then I want to get back in shape, man. 2015, make gym owners rich.
Let's see what happens in December. What about you?
Just hopefully we can make this show the #1 show in East Africa if it's possible.
I like that. I
God
like
willing,
that.
God willing.
I want to steal yours, actually. So honestly, I feel like I want to just take a little bit of each person's and kind of just do that. And everything that they said there, it was brilliant. I'd like to do that as well.
Absolutely.
Well, you are watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. You're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. Let's get to the money. Today's business news, Fidelis Karangwa has the details.
Three business stories making headlines today. Rwanda's insurance company Sonawa announced plans to regain its market share as one of the leading insurers in the country. Sonawa's market share has reduced to the increase in players in the industry. However, the insurance giant plans to launch a new product like crop and medical liability insurance, among others, to allow customers to access treatment from outside the country. This move is expected to grow the customer base and market share of the company. Over 1,000 farmers across the country have been trained on a post-harvest management program conducted by Post-Harvest and Agribusiness Support Project. The project has so far benefited more than 11 districts in the country and is aimed at enhancing the skills of farmers through training in post-harvest production handling, storage technical skills, and skills required throughout the harvesting period. And lastly, the East African Business Council is in the process of developing a code of conduct and ethics for businesses aimed at boosting trade in the region. The new code, which is expected to be ready by April of 2015, will be promoted within the business community of the East African partner states and will act as a guide to private sector in provision of acquisition of services across the region. It will also incorporate key themes and internationally recognized as basis principles responsible for global citizenship for any businesses.
So Fidelis, it is the beginning of the year, it's the beginning of the week. What do you have for us for the rest of the week?
Well, we always have Tech Tuesday, so I have something really good cooking up for that. And of course, you know, it wouldn't be a good start of the year if we don't look back to, you know, what happened during the festive season, what happened last year. So I'm going to give you a report on how, you know, business people all over the country are, you know, we're welcoming the year, what they look forward to, and you know, everything.
She's starting the year even more.
With more.
Oh yes, definitely looking out for that. All right, awesome. Well, you are up to date with today's business headlines. Sports news is coming up next with Arnold Quizera.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Sports news with me, Arnold Quizera. Starting with some sad news in the sports world, legendary sports anchor Stuart Scott has passed away at the age of 49. For most of you who grew up watching the NBA and the NFL, Stuart Scott is renowned for presenting and holding halftime talk shows on ESPN Super Bowl 15 and Super Bowl 45. We'll have much more later in the show. Now moving on to cycling. Team Rwanda has entered residential training as they bid to kickstart their 2015 campaign. Under the tutelage of Jonathan Boyer, 15 riders are set to go on a course change in preparation for this month's tour of Egypt. Team Rwanda will embark on training of a flat and less hilly route that has windy conditions with humid weather to match the circumstances in Hagada, which is at an elevation of 14 meters above sea level. Now, moving on to tennis, Andy Murray captured 2015's first title by winning the Abu Dhabi Tennis Championships after defending champion Novak Djokovic pulled out with injury. Despite the lack of seeding points at the tournament, Murray enjoyed a comfortable 6-love, 6-2 victory over French Open champion Rafael Nadal in the semi-finals. The win came at a cost as the British #1 suffered an injury later on in the match that also doubled as a warm-up for this year's first Grand Slam Open, which is the Australian Open. And finally, Steven Gerrard has called an end to his Liverpool career after 17 stellar seasons at Anfield. Arguably one of the greatest English midfielders, the Liverpool captain is set to leave the Copites when the current football season comes to an end to further lengthen his football career in America's Major League Soccer. The 34-year-old recently retired from the England national team after the 2014 Brazil World Cup.
All right, Arnold. So let's start with Stuart Scott. I mean, this is someone's passing that has really touched the world in general, not just sports. And why this? To those that didn't know him, because we grew up watching him, NFL, NBA, but to those who did not know who he was, this is someone who had a lengthy, touching, very charismatic address to the SP audience last year at the ESPYs, and this is someone who touched a lot of people because he had a long fight with cancer. Everybody knew about this. Yeah. And yet he seemed so positive, so optimistic, to the point where some of us started believing that he was untouchable, that he was going to be fine. Yeah. So last evening's news really hit home. It really hit home.
It was a shocker for some of us who are inspired to do what we are doing right now, you know. Right. Harnessing our craft in the media industry and the sports, being a sports anchor myself. Stuart Scott was one of the pioneer African-American sports anchors on TV. You know, he set the ground for the likes of Stephen A. Smith to do punditry.
David Aldridge.
Yeah, to do punditry on America Sports TV. Right. It was rare for a time because to see an African-American person, you know, do the halftime talk show on ESPN, you know, to the extent that he was put in the ESPN Hall of Fame, which is the ESPN Sports Personality of the Year.
Hosted the NBA Finals.
Hosted the NBA Finals,
in halftime NFL huge games. Yeah. I mean, this is someone, he's a UNC alum. He went to the University of North Carolina at the same time as Michael Jordan, believe it or not. Joined ESPN in 1993. He was part of ESPN magazine, part of the writers. And one of the columns that I really liked about him that got him to get a lot of people to love him was that he was close to the hip-hop culture. Like the culture embraced him. He had words like holla. He had a column called holla. That's at the time where in hip-hop holla was a catchphrase. That's what a lot of people were
Puff
using.
Daddy at that time.
Exactly. And then he had expressions, catchphrases during the shows, during the NBA shows and NFL shows.
I think that's what made him different, and so sad that he passed out at a very young age.
49 years old. He's survived by one brother and two sisters. But this is someone whose passing really touched a lot of people yesterday. We saw it on Twitter.
Yeah, a lot of tributes came in.
A lot of tributes. I mean, this is someone who interviewed Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, who are not sports figures per se, interviewed Tiger Woods, interviewed Michael Jordan. His passing will be long felt.
He will be long. May his soul rest in peace.
May his soul rest in peace.
Now, moving on to something lighter,
Steven Gerrard.
Steven Gerrard has left Anfield. Now, that's very sad news for I personally, being a Liverpool fan. You know, Steven Gerrard is the greatest midfield player of this generation. Not the greatest Liverpool midfield player, I would say, because you had the likes of Graeme Souness playing. Not the greatest, again, in Liverpool player when you have King Kenny Dalglish having played for the Merseysiders. But then Gerrard goes on, you know, a remarkable player, the best of the best at his prime. You know, we had Zinedine Zidane come out saying...
And you know Zinedine Zidane tried to get Steven Gerrard to come to Real Madrid maybe twice to join the team. And Steven Gerrard said no. And everybody will ask Zidane, they're like, you're the best midfielder
I think just right on our TV screens right there, you're seeing the passion with which Gerrard carried the Liverpool team. You know,
Zidane tried to get him to come to Real Madrid when he was still playing with Real Madrid, to have him play in the midfield with him, to be his partner in the midfield. And then he tried to bring him when he became assistant coach for Jose Mourinho 2 years ago. So basically, he knew
the quality
player he was.
For the Liverpool fans, he gave us some great memories. Remember that evening at Norwich. he gave us Istanbul 2005. We'll never forget that. You know, he led the comeback with that stunning header against AC Milan, and even in earlier in the group stages against Olympiacos in the must-win game, you know, he came up with that stellar winner in the 89th minute.
And we're just talking Liverpool here. We're not even talking about the national team and what he has meant for the team. Yep. His charismatic presence, his legendary presence. I mean, he's a great one. He'll be remembered.
Yeah. Now moving on to something you really like a lot.
Oh yes.
Is the NBA. Over the season, we've had a short break. Houston Rockets are on a run. Rajon Rondo moved to the Dallas Mavericks.
All that happened in like 3-4 days, basically.
Anthony Davis is an MVP contender. People are talking about him being an MVP.
Him, right now it's between him, Dwight Howard, and Stephen Curry.
Yeah.
If you look at the whole NBA right now,
James Harden,
it's going to be hard for him to get it.
His defensive play has improved.
He's been great, but the thing is, he plays as the same position as Stephen Curry, and then on top of that, he has Dwight Howard on the same team. So you can't have two MVP candidates. We saw what happened with Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant, so it's tough. It's really tough to be a Scottie Pippen to a Michael Jordan.
So let me ask you a question. Who are your favorite? Who is your favorite right now?
Right now, I think if I go against Stephen Curry, I'll be lying, and then a lot of people will think I'm crazy too. So I'll go with the safe bet, but the safe bet only works for now. There's still 4 months to go in the regular season.
Remember, this is the West. People are saying Rajon Rondo is the final jigsaw puzzle to that Dallas Mavericks team. Look at the Dallas starters. They have Mills now, they have Rondo, they have the two Chandlers, and then they have Dirk.
Yeah. But the thing with Rajon Rondo being part of joining the Dallas Mavericks improves the team tremendously. It makes them a contender, a big-time contender come playoffs time. But does it make him an MVP candidate for the regular season? Because the MVP goes for the best player during the regular season. And so far, I think Stephen Curry has been the man.
Okay. So now, Reg, moving on to something that I know you also like a lot. It's the Australian Open.
Right. It's coming up.
Yeah. Who is your favorite? We saw the first tournament, Andy Murray winning the first tournament.
Abu Dhabi.
The Abu Dhabi. There were no points for seeding.
Right.
Now the second tournament, which is starting in about 2 days' time, which is the Brisbane Open in Perth.
That's where you get to gauge, because Abu Dhabi is great, but it's in Asia.
It's in Asia.
Brisbane is in Australia, so that's where you get to see who's really ready to play on Terraflex, because the surface is different, right? Who's ready to play on Terraflex, and then once the Australian Open kicks off, I mean, we haven't seen Rafael Nadal in a while. He made it to the semifinals at Abu Dhabi, but we haven't seen him in a minute.
And he was washed by Andy Murray.
Exactly. And then you have Novak Djokovic being injured. Roger Federer hasn't really shown who he is since the end of last year. So let's wait and see.
Stanislas
Wawrinka, you can never count him out. And then you have players, outsiders, what I call outsiders. Jo-Wilfried Tsonga, always an outsider, always someone that can come
I think
change.
Jo-Wilfried Tsonga is no longer the contender we thought he will be.
You don't believe Gaël Monfils?
No, you're Frenchman. No, definitely no.
Okay, well,
thank you,
Regis. Thank you very much, Arnold. We'll be right back after the break, Makira and I.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Let's take a look now at news making headlines here in Rwanda and around the world. Pressure continues to pile on the UN mission in Congo and the Congolese government to launch military action against the FDLR militia following the expiry of the 6-month deadline for voluntary disarmament. The government of Rwanda reiterated its call to the DRC and the MONUSCO to honor more international obligations, among them 2 UN Security Council resolutions that authorize military offensive against the militia that is largely to blame for the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. The FDLR has consolidated its military and political organization with the aim to further destabilize Rwanda and the region. Last year, the militia offered to disarm, but was doing the opposite behind the scenes, regrouping, trading gold and charcoal for weapons, and mobilizing political support.
The Kasparov Chess Foundation Africa has announced that one of the recipients of its 2015 study grants will be Yasant Igirimbabazi, a Rwandan senior 2 student. The foundation received a number of applications from across the continent, and after considering all of them, it authorized the award of 3 student grants for the 2015 academic year. The other 2015 recipients are George Gitwi from Kenya and Litebaho Motalane of Lesotho. Yassan started learning and playing chess in 2012. She has been teaching chess to fellow students. The grants will enable her to complete her education while also pursuing her love for chess.
Rwanda has become the first member of the East African Community to ratify the Mutual Defense Pact for a regional corporation. The pact, agreed by Kenya, Uganda, and Rwanda, aims to lay the foundation for EAC states to play a bigger role in fighting transnational crime. Kenya is waiting for the protocol to be presented to Parliament, and in Uganda, the Cabinet has already approved and submitted it to Parliament for ratification. Once adopted, the pact will allow armed forces from member countries to conduct joint military operations when combating terrorism and other international crimes.
And in international news, the United States have introduced new sanctions in response to the major cyber attack against American entertainment company Sony Pictures, as part of a hostile and inflammatory US policy. The move comes after Sony was set to release a movie about a plot to assassinate North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un. The United States placed sanctions on 3 North Korean organizations and 10 individuals after the FBI blamed Pyongyang for the cyber attack. North Korea praised the attack on Sony, but denied any involvement in it. This is said to be the first time the US has moved to punish any country for cyber attacks on a US company.
The search for the main wreckage of AirAsia QZ8501 in the Java Sea has entered a second week, with poor weather still hampering operations. A 5th large object, thought to be debris from the plane, has been located under the sea. Another body has also been found, bringing the total to 31. The flight crashed en route from Indonesia to Singapore last Sunday, with 162 people aboard. Bad weather is believed to have been the biggest factor in the crash. The Airbus's black boxes, or flight data recorders, have yet to be located. Most of the victims' bodies are thought to be trapped in the plane's fuselage.
Alright, time now for a review of the headlines. Kish from Contact FM joins us now to look through some of the front pages.
Welcome, Kiche. How are you?
I'm fine. Regis has done it again.
Yes, he's done it again.
See?
I'm so happy it's not me this time.
And I was sure I was going to start the year on the right foot when it comes to your name. I'll get it, I promise. It's too original for me, man. Kiche. Kiche. I'll get it.
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year to you, too. All right, the FDLR. Now, January 2nd came and went,
yes,
and nothing changed, basically.
Nothing.
This is a group that's being, that's arming itself, that's preparing an attack maybe on Rwanda, we do not know. And there's a lot going on. I'm hearing President Kikwete has something to say about it. President Zuma has something to say about it. Enlighten us on what's happening.
Well, the FDLR issue, to me, it's become a game of musical chairs, you know. And somebody's playing a game here, certainly. And somebody's part of the bigger game. And we understand that the presence of FDLR in Congo has everything to do with its economic and political connections. Now, a lot has been said. MONUSCO, we're not seeing MONUSCO making a move. Rwanda reiterated and said MONUSCO have to fulfill, and the government of Congo, they have to fulfill their international obligations about this. And so far, we've not seen anything. So it's quite questionable. But we see, speaking of Tanzania, speaking of South Africa, remember SADC was, it was actually part of the team that, you know, came up with the 2nd January deadline. Tanzania has its troops in MONUSCO. We have troops from South Africa, we have troops from Tanzania, we have troops from Malawi making part of MONUSCO, yet we don't see a move being made here. Now, in all this, what we understand is actually the economic and the political connections there is about FDLR. Nevertheless, there are reports, going by media reports I've read in the recent days, that East African Standby Force has been given a thumbs up by the African Union so that they can move ahead. They're now starting warming up for deployment so that they can move ahead for neutralization of the FDLR. So if MONUSCO isn't going to, make a move, why not ESF to come in and do this?
Right, it's just now to wait and see.
Yes.
All right, so let's move on to the next headline. The holiday season has just pretty much ended, and we're seeing that actually there's a spike in crime, in petty crime, in Kigali. What's your views on that?
Oh, yes, particularly, let me alert our viewers that it's been said it's in the areas of Gisozi, Gisementi, around Amahoro, around the stadium, and Sonatube in Kichukiro. And this also came up in the RPF meeting. But apparently, I don't think it has received a lot of media attention per se within the local media reports. But as you said, Makeda, I think you're right to say, it's a festive season. We can just come into the end of it. And chances are that we see tendency of lots of crime, not only just such petty theft, but also in the likes of accidents, rising up. And maybe would say on the other side, maybe the security forces were a bit laxed, given that it was a festive season, but it's worth watching what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks, so that we be able to analyze whether this actually has become a trend or it was just a matter of a festive season and it's passing by the way.
Now, if it is a trend, what would you say is the reason behind the whole thing? The increase in it?
What I would say, if it's a trend, the increase for that particularly, I wouldn't, there is a specific reason I'd want to attribute it as of now, because I feel it is a little bit early to come up with that analysis. Therefore, we just want to give it time and be able to study the pattern so that we'll be able to tell.
Our producers were also robbed recently. And the thing, it seems as though especially petty theft has been rising. And it would, I suppose, make a bit of sense that would happen around the holiday season, because people are feeling, people are buying gifts, people have the money, or people are perceived to have had, the money. So you're right, it hopefully after the holiday season, it does decrease. But I don't think it was the police, because it seemed as though there was a lot of security on the street.
It feels like their presence was increased in the city, right?
Oh, yes, okay. Well, we got to watch out for that.
Exactly, absolutely.
Sure.
All right, thank you, Kiche, so much for joining us today. Lots more still to come. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break.
It's Motivation Mondays, and in this week's session, it's all about keeping our New Year's resolution through fun and creative workout routines. So let's take a look.
So we're back. It's Motivation Monday, the very first one of 2015, and I'm right here with the founder, Dennis Dibdal. Dennis, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.
All right, Dennis. So it's the new year, so a lot of people want to start working out. You know, they have all these New Year's resolutions. What can you tell us to inspire us to start working out this year?
It's a great question, Alan. Okay, so I think stories usually are the best inspiration. Like, very often people, they feel like, well, I will never be able to, if I'm overweight, to lose weight. Like, they just feel it's a struggle. But fortunately, we have many stories that can actually prove that it is possible for even average, normal people that never exercise. So we worked with a wonderful group of women. They were primarily women, and they all wanted to lose weight. So what we did is we did a 90 days challenge with them. And just to make it short, most of the women, they lost a whole lot of weight, not muscle, but body fat. So all the, all the fat that we have around on our body. And so just two examples. One of them, she lost 19.5 kilos. And another one lost 13.5. They were different weights when they started, so that is also why they lost different amounts.
In 3 months?
In 3 months, you know, and they never exercised before. And it's just by eating healthy based on the advice we gave them and then working out in the right way.
A lot of people when the year starts, you know, they have these resolutions where they're going to start working out, but it doesn't usually last. Why is that?
It mainly makes sense because people, they have never done it before. And when they start, they begin from zero and they just go very fast. They try to achieve so much in a very short period of time, so they kind of burn out.
Dennis, so now that we're starting a new year, do you have a new challenge for us that maybe, you know, we can try out?
I mean, if you and the viewers, they want to be challenged, sure, we have a challenge that will start on the 1st of February. It is a 90-day challenge where we will give advice and guidance on the correct way of exercising and what to eat in order to achieve your goals. But we don't want it to be boring, right? Because then you're going to stop after 3 months. So we have other tools, you can call like fitness tools, to keep it entertaining and keep it fun. And I would love to show you some of those tools and exercises. So dear viewers at home, I want to introduce you to Ewens. He's the trainer that is going to run the program, the 90-day challenge that we just mentioned. Ewens is now going to show you different exercises that we will be doing during this challenge, and also to show it that fitness can also be very fun. Though it's challenging, it has to be fun. So we'd like to show you a few exercises, and hopefully that will inspire you too. So many of these methods, they come from different places, not just the fitness world, but we just kind of adapted it. So if you take the ropes that you worked on, they are like something that I know they've used in the army. The same goes with the sandbag that you used, it's all from the army. The cones is something from like the other sports like soccer, handball, volleyball. They've used it just to, you know, to get more, to get fitter basically. So viewers at home, we wish you a happy new year and a healthy and a fit 2015. Thank you.
So joining us now is the co-founder of Waka Fitness, Miss Janetta Craigwell-Graham. I got your name right.
For the second time.
Yes, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great, I'm great. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about the 90-day challenge that he spoke about. Now you guys started it last year.
Yes.
And you had women who participated. Was it specifically women? Were you looking for targeting women only, or?
No, we actually were just looking for a serious group of candidates, men or women, that were interested in participating. And unlike this year, we really were looking for people that were pretty dedicated. So we actually asked them to submit an essay and kind of go through like a bit of a mini interview and to tell us, you know, that they show us progress from when they first enrolled in the program to when it officially started, just so we knew that people were really committed, because we were actually doing it free of charge and letting them use the facility, because we were really trying to get a group of people we believed in and we really wanted to work with.
Now, were they women who were overweight and just trying to lose weight, or they just wanted to get in shape?
We actually had a couple candidates that weren't what you classically would call overweight, but they just wanted to basically transform and get in better shape, and they didn't know how. So I think that one of the main parts and the most important parts of U 2.0 is the educational aspect of it, and the fact that you're learning so much information either from your trainers or from the diet consultations and the diet workshops that we conduct, that you kind of feel empowered. So after the 90 days, these women have completely done it on their own and been able to work out, to eat well without needing a lot of guidance.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So now the challenge starts in February 1st, right?
Yes.
Now I'm going to be part of it,
Okay.
and also one of my colleagues.
Okay.
So I kind of want to know a little bit of what to expect.
Okay.
You know, because I'm a little bit nervous, to be honest.
I can tell you're shaking.
I'm really nervous. Like, you have no idea.
Yeah.
When I think about it. But yeah, tell us a little bit about it.
So U 2.0, like Dennis mentioned, is a 90-day transformation program. It involves first us doing a body assessment using a couple different tools that we have at WACA. We do a fitness assessment, so that just tells us your overall fitness abilities, your strength, your flexibility, your cardiovascular ability, so how fast can you run, how long can you run.
Right.
We take those metrics down, then we pair you with a personal trainer who will work out with you for 3 days a week. Along with that, we give you basically diet advice that's broken down into 3 phases. So instead of going right into, you know, those juicings or other sorts of fad diets, we like to try to ease you into kind of progressively getting more strict with how you eat.
Right.
So that's the main components of U 2.0. Of course, Dennis and I will also be there just providing ongoing coaching, because we kind of look at it as a whole lifestyle transformation. So while you'll be doing the stuff with the food and the exercise, you'll also be going through a lot of other things that are new for you, and changes and ways that your friends or family might react to this new you.
Right.
So we will be there with you the whole step, the whole way, and yeah, it's a very exciting program.
And normally, so how many days a week will we be working out?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a routine? Like, is there a certain time that we have to be working out?
So it'll be 3 days a week, and you would be able to set the schedule with the personal trainer that you end up getting paired with. So you have some flexibility on the times that will work best for you.
Now, is it true that working out in the morning is usually probably better than working out in the evening?
There is mixed results on that. You'll find that some studies have shown that it is better in the morning, and then others will show that actually makes no difference. What I've heard the best, most common sense advice is like, when do you think it's most likely that you'll be able to work out? When do you think it's most convenient for you? And how will you best be able to keep this up as a routine? So if you look at, you know, you work very late, it probably doesn't make sense for you to work out in the evenings. Perhaps you should go in the mornings, because
Right.
it's more likely you'll get it out of the way and you won't miss your workouts.
Well, either before or after the show, of course.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
But either way, anything that works for you, we can find a way to make it fit within the program.
Right. And so, like you said, you're not necessarily just targeting women, but men don't tend to actually participate in these challenges, or at least not last year.
Not last year, although we'd love for some men to join, so you'll be
Right.
our first man, and hopefully there'll be many more.
Yeah.
Last year we did limit the number of participants. This year we want as many people as possible, now that we've proven that it's been very successful and it works. Hopefully we'll get some guys to come in and try it out.
Yes.
And we think that, you know, it doesn't really matter if you're a man or a woman. We can guarantee you results if you follow the program.
Right. Well, you know what? I feel more confident after speaking to you, so I'm looking forward to it a little bit, and I'm excited. I'm excited. More than that, I'm more.
And I'm
than
sure your
excited.
viewers are going to be excited to see how much
to
you're
see
going
the
to change.
transformation. Yes. Thank you so much, Janetta.
You're welcome.
All right. Stay tuned. Hot Topics is coming right up. it's that Hot Topics time again. As always, the Rise and Shine team have been out and about, gathering everything you need to know about what's happening here and abroad. From what's trending on Twitter to the debates in your local cafe, we've got it right here, right now. All right, guys, so it's the beginning of the year. Some of us were celebrating over the New Year's Eve, I guess, celebrations. And one of the big events was basically Diamonds, who was in the country. Now, he got some mixed reviews. Some people enjoyed the concerts. Those two concerts. There was the VIP party, and then there was the 2-hour concert at Amahoro Stadium. Now, you were actually part of the first event. How did you take the event? What was your thoughts?
Yeah, so I co-hosted the New Year's Eve event in which he was supposed to just make an appearance. And so, by the way, for people who don't know, Diamond is basically, he's a big East African singer right now. He's really popular right now. People are really liking him. African, all right? Yes. African singer. But he's from Tanzania. People are loving him. People really loved his performance. But I do know that one of the things that people who were at the event that was on the 31st were saying was that his performance was too short, which is true. It was just only a few minutes, but I think people didn't understand that for that event, or maybe it wasn't communicated properly.
That it was just an appearance.
Right, for that event, it was just supposed to be a quick appearance that he was going to make, just, you know, a couple of songs, and then it was supposed to be somewhat of a teaser for the actual concert, which was taking place on the first day of the year.
Right.
So I know people didn't, but the people that were at the event that I saw during his actual performance, even though it was quite short, they really liked it, and he had quite a nice little you know, teaser. So.
Yeah. But was the thing on the 31st? I mean, the people who attended the teaser on the 31st, could they attend the one on the first two since it's VIP?
No. So they were able to buy tickets at the event. The VIP event was 10,000, and right. the one the day after was 5,000. And I think people thought that maybe the New Year's Eve event was going to be a whole concert in itself for a little bit more money, and you know, you can sit down and have a drink, and you know, not as much hustle and bustle as the one on the first. Right. I think it was just a misunderstanding.
But I think what Reg was saying, because at the end they were saying if you had a VIP ticket, you had access to the main concert.
I was told as the host to mention that people there had to buy a ticket for 5,000. They said it was available there.
So I just feel like main point is, because people in Rwanda love him, you should just maybe make it a personal assignment to do lists, like you said earlier, to come back for the people, the local people who can afford to go to the VIP concerts, because people in Rwanda actually love him and they support him a lot, and he should just come back and like give back to the people.
Yeah,
and make
but
them happy.
okay, this whole Diamond situation, okay, it brought a lot of questions within our music industry. One, educating the people about what an appearance is supposed to be. You know, because when you look at people like Diamond, the industries they're coming from, you know, he is paid to go to a club, he's paid to go to a party, to just attend. Yeah, so that's what was in his contract, you know, to just show up at, you know, in fact, you could see by the size of the stage that they had not prepared for a whole performance. Yeah. And then he talked about the music industry down here, which did go well with some of our local,
like Jay Polly.
I
mean, it's in the news.
Tell us, it's a hot topic.
No, basically, he thought that it wasn't okay for an artist who's visiting our country to basically say in a negative. Well, for him, he saw it was negative that he says that Rwandan artists don't know what they're doing.
Oh no!
He said that?
He didn't really.
This is what the quote says in a newspaper that I read. Literally, it quoted him saying, how can he say that? But one thing I think people understood, because, you know, one of the things that I read in the article was that some of the artists were late, which also
which is normal.
Which is typical. But basically, he performed on time, he was there on time, and the other artists, actually I won't name them, like Urban Boys and King James, performed after him when they were supposed to
they were supposed to be opening guests.
Right,
exactly. He was going to be
and they ended up performing afterward. Right. So people who heard Jay Polly complaining were like, well, you know, if you guys can't even be on time. Why are you criticizing him? So
true.
I
think he was trying to talk about the professionalism in our music industry.
Exactly.
What he was telling Rwandan artists to think broader, you know,
exactly.
to professionalize. Like you could see his stage performance. We have not had a local artist have a stage performance like that.
A stage
he puts so much into his craft, and it's the reason he has the awards.
This is actually very good advice. I hope they take it to heart.
I can't disagree with the whole punctuality situation. I think people need to work on that.
McKenna was like, he say that? And then she told him, but he said, nah.
You know, I was almost going to start fighting. Like, what did he say?
Punctuality is a big issue, but also I think one of the things he also mentioned was marketing. Artists need to market themselves outside of Rwanda, which I don't think they do enough of.
But you guys think it's possible for them to market themselves outside of Rwanda singing only in Kinyarwanda?
I think that's the problem.
He marketed himself singing only Swahili, and it's
spoken in a lot of countries.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, you know, the way, like, even like not everyone understands what Nigerian people sing, but they push their music so much that even when you have no idea what you're singing,
Nigerians,
you just sing.
They sing in mostly English and
even
a few words in.
Exactly, and then let's like you said, Congolese music as well. You know, you don't understand anything.
I'm loving this. Before Alan takes us to the next topic. The artists who have won the most contemporary awards at the Kora Awards in Africa have come from Ethiopia.
Oh.
Singing in their mother tongue. Yeah. If people can listen to that and appreciate that that's good music, you know, you listen to Malian music and you're like, this is deep, good music. What's wrong with that?
But you know what? Contemporary, it's different. Because what music, the singers here are doing R&B, they're doing hip-hop, they're doing African...
Exactly, so they need to harness their craft, you know, to suit the market.
Yeah, especially if they want to go pop.
I think it would have been easier if it was Muyango and Cecile and them, because it was true original traditional Rwandan music.
I think this debate could go on for a while. Let's move on to the next topic.
On to the next topic. Well, this one is about fashion, and during the holidays there was what they call the Big Size Fashion Awards. I'm sorry, fashion show. No, the name is actually Big Size Fashion Show. I think the name is terrible. Personally, I just don't think it should be something else. But it's a fashion show where the models are plus sized, and basically the event turned out to be a bit of a flop. Not a lot of people came, but I must say that the same night there was also the Groove Awards Gala, which is like a gospel awards. Right. But one thing that is interesting about the story is that basically the models were not paid. You know, the organizer who, you know, had promised to pay them after the show disappeared, turned off the phone. Even the DJ who had gotten an advance tried to get the rest of his money, got a check, and it bounced.
You know, it's unfortunate because this is not a unique story.
No, it's
this
not.
This happens all the time, and it's so unfortunate because
and I'm sure these models don't get a contract or anything, right?
I think it also, we have a problem, especially in this industry that we are dealing with, Makeda, a lot in the entertainment industry. It's so many people go by what you tell them, hearsay and trust. They have not tried to be professionals themselves. Because if I ask for a contract to do for you work and you have signed a contract, then I can sue you for so much money, more than if you don't pay me. But what these guys are told, you know, we will pay you, and they just accept it like, okay.
Yeah.
Then
you gotta know your rights, basically. You gotta know what you're dealing with.
People should know their rights, as in it's a professional business. You are a model. Ask for your payment.
Okay. Right. Well, first of all, I'd like to acknowledge and encourage the fact that there's even plus size models in Rwanda. That's a new thing.
I think it's great.
You know, we should just
but you know, they
encourage it.
It's not the first time.
Yeah, it's not. But they're very rare. You know, that's one thing. And then the second thing is, it's one thing that obviously plus size models don't get as many jobs, and it's another thing that they're not being paid for even the few jobs that they do. I just feel like it's really wrong. And like you said, yes, they should acknowledge their rights, and we should promote them. We should push them a bit more, and attend the events, for example.
Unfortunately, I only heard about it after it happened. Maybe
but they need to be knowledgeable. That's very key. What Arnold was saying is, you sign a contract, you can take them to court. You need to know what you're doing before you do it.
Absolutely. Hopefully, we kind of try and build up that culture a bit more
Get
here.
your contracts.
Exactly. Do not forget that we love to hear your thoughts, your comments, and your feedback on what we're talking about here on Rise and Shine Rwanda. Us at Rise and Shine RW. Like us on Facebook and send us your ideas for programs. Check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda YouTube page where you can catch all the shows and reports that we do. Find us on Instagram, Rise and Shine RW. We love to see your photos. Or check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda website.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. First show in the books.
First show of the year.
Of the year, we've done it.
2050. We just need to get better. We just need to get better. Everyone, I think that's the motto of this year. Just keep improving, keep moving.
Right. And just like last year, we'd love to have your feedback. So do let us know if you have any idea to improve the program. You've been watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Regis Isheja.
And me, Makeda Mahadia. We will be back here same time, same place tomorrow morning. So please do join us then. But until then, from us and the rest of the Rise and Shine team, have a great rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye.